Levan Merritt had never seen a real gorilla in his life. So when this 5-year-old showed up at the zoo that day, he was buzzing with excitement. But that excitement got the better of him. He took off running toward the enclosure, eyes locked on the gorillas, and in one split second, his foot slipped. He went straight over the edge. Before anyone could even process what was happening, Levan hit the ground below, hit his head, and blacked out completely. His mother was standing just a short distance away when it happened. She saw the whole thing unfold in front of her. And the second her son disappeared over that edge, she started screaming, full panic. Because those gorillas weren't just big, they looked absolutely terrifying up close, and everyone standing there knew exactly what animals that size were capable of doing to a 5-year-old in a matter of seconds. People around the enclosure started running in every direction, but nobody was brave enough to jump down there and pull him out. His mother tried. More than once, she tried to go down after him herself, but the people around her held her back, because going down there wasn't going to help anyone. It was only going to make things worse. And then it got worse anyway, because that's when everyone saw him, an even bigger gorilla, slowly making his way toward the boy. He stopped a short distance away first, just sat there, watching. Then, little by little, he started moving closer. The crowd lost it completely, screaming, crying, absolute chaos. By the time word got out and the rescue team finally arrived on scene, that massive gorilla was already right next to Levan, and he reached out with his enormous hand and started moving the unconscious boy, turning him over, looking him over like he was trying to figure out what had happened to him. But every time the crowd screamed louder, the gorilla flinched. He wasn't used to that kind of noise, that kind of panic, and eventually it startled him enough that he backed off, moved away from the boy completely. Meanwhile, zookeepers were doing everything they could to keep the other gorillas distracted, tossing food to pull their attention elsewhere. And right in the middle of all that chaos, Levan started to come around, slowly regaining consciousness. The second there was an opening, the rescue team dropped down into that enclosure and pulled him straight out. That gorilla's name was Jumbo, and Jumbo never hurt that boy, not once. If anything, he seemed to be trying to protect him, or at least figure out what was wrong with him. Levan did suffer a head injury from the fall itself, and he spent a few days in the hospital recovering, but he made a full recovery and went home to his family. Jumbo, he was one of the good ones. But not every gorilla story ends like that one. Because there's another case, almost identical on paper. Another little boy, another fall into a gorilla enclosure at another zoo. Except this time, the gorilla wasn't gentle at all. When that boy hit the ground and the crowd above started screaming in panic, it set this gorilla off. He didn't back away. He grabbed that child and started dragging him around, almost like he was playing with him, rough, careless, like the kid was a toy and not a terrified little boy. For a moment, people actually thought maybe, just maybe, this gorilla had softened. He sat the boy up in front of him at one point, almost seemed gentle. He stood him up like he was trying to figure something out. But then it turned again. He grabbed the boy by the leg and dragged him even further away, further from the crowd, further from any kind of help. People kept watching from a distance, terrified, completely helpless to do anything. And then, at some point, that gorilla disappeared from view completely, taking the boy with him. It wasn't until later that people learned the rescue team had gotten him out. So, here's the real question. After hearing both of these stories, how do you feel about gorillas now? Because honestly, I think most of us are sitting with the same mixed feelings I am. But at the end of the day, there's nothing we can really do about it. These aren't people, they're wild animals. God didn't give them the ability to understand right from wrong the way we do. They just act on instinct, whatever that instinct happens to be in the moment. If you're still with us, make sure you're subscribed to the channel. Thank you for watching.